Okay, I feel like I have a lot to cover, and I might jump around a lot because I have just so much in front of me, but I feel very urged to make sure I get this out, even if it's not perfect at first. So I'm going to start with today. I was looking at the sunset, and I noticed something. I think it's called a sundog. It's where you've got the sun, and then there's sort of like a ring around it, and you can tell there's a ring around it because you tend to get very bright, like a reflection. Well, today it looked like rainbows. It was like a rainbow here and a rainbow here, like it's reflecting off of one point and going out, and the sun was in the center, and then there was also sort of like a bow right here. You could clearly see that it was a circle, and then and then the sun in the middle. I think they're called sundogs. I'm not really sure what that means. I didn't look that part up. But something that I did notice about that is something that I've been noticing in just before sunrise is I'll see Orion's belt, which is I drew it out here. Orion's belt, right? You've got the three in the center, Orion's belt, and then I always notice these two that are perfectly like symmetrical on either side, and one of those tends to sparkle like a very bright red. Uh, to me, it kind of looks like a ball, and it's spinning really, really fast. I mean, this is what I see from far away, and it looks like this gray slash red, but it definitely looks like it's spinning and it's blinking. And then on the other side of the three in the center is what looks like a blue color. So I always see that before the sun rises, and I'm not really sure what that means, but after today when I saw the sunset, I noticed that we've got the sun, and then exactly where I see the two on the sides of Orion's belt is where these two reflecting things are. And for me, I was like, wow, that's really weird that they're just so similar. So I was like, okay, maybe there's a connection here. Lost my train of thought. Okay. So when I connect the two like that, it made me think of when Spirit told me that the sun. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let me go with the next thought then. I just thought that was weird that that reminded me of the sunrise because the sun shouldn't be where Orion's belt is. That doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, I guess it could be, but anyways, moving on. Um, the water thing. So, the last time I talked about water and how I can what looks like to me when I look up in the sky, it looks like water to me, and it looks like it gets closer every day. And today is no different than any other day. It definitely looked a lot closer. And what was I looking up? Okay, yeah. And then yesterday I covered the Ursa tension leg platform. Well, today I decided to look up a little bit more on that. So when I got back from the sunset, I looked up that tension leg platform, the Ursa one, and then I noticed that it's actually a drill ship for BP, Shell, and Exxon. And something else that I noticed as well on this sunset was it looked like this, like okay, say you're looking at a sunset, it looked like something was like broken here because it was a clear like two rectangles like that, and then we got the sun here in the middle. So you've got these two broken things here, and then it's like that, like a circle around the sun. And when I look at that, I think of a shell. I think of like an actual shell. And of course, you know, when I think of if there's a cloud in the way, you see the reflection and you see the sun rays, right? So I thought that was interesting as well, that I happened to notice it looked like a shell before I even researched this, and the drill ship, this will make sense, I promise. The fact that this drill ship, the Ursa tension leg platform, is actually a drill ship for BP, Shell, and Exxon. Okay, moving on. I'm so everywhere. I'm sorry. Okay, that's right. All right. So when I looked up drill ship, I came across the term moon pool. That struck my interest because of the whole moon thing that Spirit was showing me. Well, telling me. They said that the sun was the sun, the moon was the sun, and they said the stars were the moon. So you got the sun is the sun, the moon is actually the sun, and the stars that we see are actually the moon. So when I saw moon pool, I was like, hey, alright, maybe we're going to stumble upon something. So I went to click on moon pool, and what I found is, I don't know if this will make sense. This is the picture they had online, so I reinscribed this picture. So it's like you've got sorry, I'm trying to see here. So you've got the this would be the bottom of the ship right here. Whoa, losing the page. All right, at the bottom of the ship right here, and then you've got this in the center. Now, say, I feel like this has been in a movie. I think Austin Powers actually might have had that, or any Red, the movie Red, I think. Like you're in a submarine, and you're at the bottom of the submarine, but not underneath it. you're in the belly of the submarine. And now what they do is it's almost like a pontoon sort of, I think. At least the way that the drill ship goes. And you've got the two here, right? And then it's like sort of level on the water. And then you've got like a rectangular opening, like a pool. But I guess the way the water balances, or I'm not exactly entirely sure how it works, but you can actually descend into the water and the water doesn't get into the ship. So when I stumbled upon that, I was thinking, moon pool, okay. Now, I think of Noah's Ark. I think of Noah's Ark because this also, Noah's Ark, Ark actually popped up when I clicked on moon pool, and then I went to images and Noah's Ark showed up. And what it said was, the moon pool induces resistance to movement, and it dampens wave motion. So it actually makes you level even in the rockiest of waters. And when Spirit told me that the stars were actually the moon, what I thought of was, we're actually looking at a moon pool. It's a pool. And I haven't completely figured all of this out, but the fact that we've never actually found Noah's Ark, no one knows where to look. They say, oh, it was here, and they look and they look and they look and they can't find it, or they think they might have found it. Like, I mean, if they had found it, they had found it. I think that maybe we didn't find it because it's simply above us. Or it's so far down below. You know what? I don't even. I'll go to that in a little bit, because that's probably too much right now. So I'm wondering if this ark is so big that it's actually above us, because what I see is water above us. Like, I see a defining line. and it looks super calm. I think I said that in my last video. It looks very serene, looks very calm. In fact, today it looked like it was almost not even moving. So to me, that says we're not even in the ocean. We're actually in a moon pool. So as soon as I thought that in my head, Spirit was like, "Yeah, you got it. You're on the right track." And I was like, "Wow, that makes sense now." Because I remember, you know, the last video I made, they had actually said, "Don't try to figure it out now. It's not going to make sense. You're two-dimensional." You know, like the way I'm thinking in that moment is not going to make sense. So the fact that I was just clicking around, I wasn't even thinking. I was just, you know, going, checking stuff out and reading, and bam, this popped up. I thought that was really cool. Because it was such a quick answer, right? Okay, so Noah's Ark. Pretty epic. I remember, you know, the debates that go on about Noah's Ark. Like, how could they possibly fit, you know, 2 by 2? Like, do you know how many animals that is? It would have to be gigantic and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's like, well, maybe it really is gigantic. And maybe we can't find it because it's so big. It is the whole planet or something. And it's all the waters in the sky. Like I said, this is not a very easy thing to grasp if you're used to what we've always been told, but Spirit has been moving me out of the realm of logical thinking. He said you gotta be creative, you gotta think in riddles, you gotta go outside the box, because everything you know is simply just not, it's not what they teach you. You're gonna have to go outside to find it. So this might be a little nuts to take in right now, but they said you're gonna have to be out of your mind a bit. You gotta be out of your mind. You gotta be a little crazy to figure out what's going on. So once I figured that out, I got super duper excited, and I was looking up at the stars, and I was like, okay, so what are these? What are these cracks in the hole? I mean, these holes in the hole, and they were like, it's not like they really said yes, but they were like, you got it, like you're on the right track. And I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute now. Maybe that's why my mom said Ursa Major. And I was like, you know, are these cracks in the hole, are these the holes that we go through to get to the next new world? And they said yes. And they also said that oh man, I'm sorry. I really did not even put this all together in my head. I just have so much, and I'm trying to stay on track here. Okay. Okay, because I was thinking about falling stars, and they're always telling me we're made of stardust. We are made of stars. We are stars. And I was like, okay, now hold on a minute. If we're stars, say we fell from the sky, and so we each individually have our own special place to go in the heavens, you know. And I was thinking this, you know, and I'm trying to work this out in my head out loud. And they're like, yes, yes, yes. They said that there's always going to be a place for us to go there, because that's exactly where we came from. And I said, is my mom in that constellation? Or at least that's how I can possibly understand it, as being a constellation, the holes in the hole. And they said yes. And they said everyone's gonna it's already written that everyone is going to make it, because that's where we came from. That's where we came from. And for a minute, like really just a second, I thought in my head, well, what about, you know, the deceivers and, you know, people that purposely know not to do something and they do it anyways, like that really hinders humanity's. I'm talking like the bigwigs, the 1%. And they said, no, you can't think like that. Even the brown dwarfs, even the brown dwarf stars make it. And I was like, even the brown dwarf stars make it? And they said, yeah, even the shit, even the, I'm sorry about swearing, but that's what they said. They said even shit floats. So even the shit's gonna make it through. It's funny that they said brown dwarf stars. I'm sure they were trying to have me figure it out. But then when I was like, I don't even understand what that means, you know, they were pretty blunt about it. So that was pretty funny. So even, you know, even they swear. All right, good humor. What else? Okay. Yes, I have more, and I wish this wasn't so stop-starty, but, you know, work in progress right now. Okay, so I was looking up, crap. I don't even remember how I got to this part right here. You know what? Hold on one second. Here we go. Okay. So I was looking up moon pool ship because I wanted to get a picture of a ship with this moon pool so that I could better understand it and better explain it. So when I looked up moon pool ship, one of the things that popped up was a Soviet Marine ship, moon pool ship that was built in 1960. It was called K-129. And what was really interesting about this is that it sank because of a hydrogen explosion. It says that this K-129 carried hull number 722 on her final deployment, during which she sank on 8 March 1968. It was one of 4 mysterious submarine disappearances in 1968. I thought that was kind of interesting. The other being the Israeli submarine INS Dakar, D-A-K-A-R. The French submarine Minerve S-647, and the U.S. submarine USS Scorpion, SSN 589. I guess the Soviet Navy deployed some other ships in search for this K-129, couldn't find it. The U.S. attempted to recover the boat in 1974 in a secret Cold War era effort named Project Azorian. Now what I really found interesting about that, it's spelled A-Z-O-R-I-A-N. Remember how I was talking about the Orion belt? And then the sun, and like the two on the you know, that belt that everyone knows Orion's belt. It's like something everyone knows, right? Okay, so you take the A-Z-O-R-I-A-N, take the A-Z out of it, which is really interesting right now because Arizona is getting flooded like, in fact, there's actually a big flood warning watch from the 15th till the 19th, like literally tomorrow for the next 4 days. So I think that's really interesting that I would come across this now, considering water, all that. Okay, so you take the A and the Z out. What do you got left? You got Orion. O-R-I-A-N. Orion. That's the ship that mysteriously sank. I get it. Okay. And with 4 other, one of 4 mysterious ships that went sinking. Can't get them. Okay, so more on that. What else I found really interesting about this is that Project Azorian. Yesterday I was talking about. Actually, no, it was a video I posted earlier today. It was about Howard Hughes. I remember I used Howard Hughes in my reference in there about planes and the fact that he, you know, he created this video, this film about planes, and all his aeronautical, planes. And he realized he didn't have any clouds in the background, so it looked like planes were just in the air and nothing was happening. Like there was no movement. So we had to film the whole thing all over again and make sure there were clouds in the background. There needed to be a backdrop or else it looked like nothing. So I thought it was interesting that I referenced that earlier today because Project Azorian, okay, so yeah, the code name for the CIA project to recover that K-129 from the Pacific Ocean floor in 1974. So apparently it didn't work. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay. The recovery operation commenced covertly in international waters about 6 years later with the supposed commercial purpose of mining the seafloor for manganese nodules under the cover of Howard Hughes and the Hughes Glomar Explorer. While the ship did recover a portion of K-129, a mechanical failure in the grapple caused 2/3 of the recovered section to break off during recovery. Okay, so these are the, I don't have the total answers right now, but I am definitely on the right track because I keep, one thing after another is leading me to something I said earlier, and it's like I'm on the right track. What else? I feel like I had more in this. Okay. It also made me think, okay, so the Ark, Noah, right? Well, I remember, I don't even know if I read this or I just heard somebody say this, but I know it's in there. It says, Revelation says that the end days will be like the days of Noah. Now, the fact that I keep running into this sequence of things that I'm looking up, and the end days will be just like Noah. It's like the Ark is directly above us, and I can see why that would say it would be like Noah, because it's, instead of us, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing going into an Ark before the flood, but it's like the flood happened, or it, maybe time is like sort of like a loop or like a donut or something, and it's like it's so far down that it's coming back around, like we're literally hitting a time loop, and maybe that's why I've been talking about like a time crunch, or it's all coming together. I feel like just that alone, that one epiphany about this Ark and the waters in the sky and the moon pool and everything else, and I feel like it's all kind of coming together. It's sort of blowing my mind right now. And then also one more thing, I feel like I need to gather more of this because I feel like I just keep stuttering through this. One more thing, when I think of an Ark, it's kind of like, I imagine sort of like that, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's like that. So, when they told me the other night that the sun was the sun and the moon was the sun and the stars are the moon pool, okay, so you've got the moon pool. It's it's dark, and then you get the holes in the hole, like supposedly if that is the moon pool. Now, why would you, because I've noticed also that when I take pictures of the sun or the moon, it's like you see the moon or the light that it's coming from, and then it's like almost like it's on a surface or something, like it's clearly not the sun, it's actually reflecting onto something. And you can actually see it even more so with the actual sun. I actually took a picture today, and it was like the sun's here, but there's like a clear, like something very thin that it's reflecting onto, and it hit me that if there is an Ark up there, and you've got the actual sun, which would be at the very, very top, which would be above the Ark, which is something we can't see, because we've got the arc in the way. Well, you've got the rays coming, you've got the rays coming down off the sides of the arc, right? So it's like we're seeing this as sun and moon, when really, especially when I can see that there's a surface here that it's reflecting onto, we're simply seeing the reflection of the larger thing. It's the rays of the sun coming down on either side of the arc, and we're seeing this as sun and moon. It's the best way that our brains can possibly understand what it is we're looking at. But I think that's why they said that the sun is the sun and the moon is the sun, because they are. They're just reflections into the waters that we experience down here. That's why we see it as two separate things, but it's really the same thing. I think that's amazing. They told me that, and they said it won't make sense right now. Don't worry about it. And then, bam, you know, the moon pool and everything else. Okay, I'm really sorry. This is probably a very long video, and thank you for being patient with me. I actually tried to gather my thoughts more this time around, and it came out even worse than it, very stuttery. So maybe I should just not try to gather it all together and just talk next time. So thank you, and I will try to put even more of this together and get it out as soon as I can. Okay, thanks.